I hope you enjoy this practice. You don't need any props. And as always, please feel free to take your time, take any breaks that you need, be gentle and compassionate to yourself if you need to modify something or do something a little bit differently so that it fits your body, then that is 100% okay. I want you to take this practice as a form of self-care and ritual for yourself. So always keep that in mind above all else. So we're going to start seated here with a bit of a mudra. And mudra is a Sanskrit word for sort of a seal, and it's the word that we use for these hand gestures. So you're probably familiar with the hands at the heart. That's Anjali mudra. You might see the thumb and the pointer finger together and all the other fingers out. This is Jnana mudra for inspiration or wisdom. We're going to do one for your heart. So it gets a little bit complicated. So go ahead and bring your hands together in Anjali mudra. And then move your right hand back towards your face so you can bring it so that the backs of both of your hands are facing together. So you're sort of in a reverse prayer pose here. And then what you're going to do is hook your pinky fingers together, leave your ring fingers out, hook your middle fingers together, hook your pointer fingers together, and then you connect the thumb and the ring finger to make a little circle here. So it's a pretty intense mudra, so feel free to take your time. I'll explain one more time. Backs of the hands together, so palms open to either side. And then pinky fingers interlace, leave the ring fingers free. Middle fingers and pointer fingers interlace, and then just lightly touch your thumb and your ring finger together. And so then you can bring this mudra right here in front of the heart. Gently close your eyes here. And begin to breathe into the passionate flames of your heart here. Maybe notice just any emotions, any feelings sort of lingering in your heart space. Allow yourself to hold space for whatever emotions are there. It's okay if they're not exactly what we deem positive emotions. Right? Just allow yourself to be with them, just to feel for a moment here. Honor the truth that's in your heart right now. And from that space of open truth in your heart, just invoke some loving compassion for yourself. Maybe repeating in your head this affirmation of love. May I know love. May I be loved. May I be loving in return. May the wisdom of the heart guide me in all that I do. And take a few more big full breaths into your heart here. And softly open up your eyes. Gently release your mudra. And just allow your palms to rest open face on your knees here for a few breaths. Palms open towards the sky invokes this open and receiving energy. So you're open to receiving light, energy, inspiration, and love here. Good. You can inhale, just let your hands reach up towards the sky, just nice and easy. Nice extension through the side body. Take a big full breath in, maybe wiggle your fingertips. And exhale, let your hands fall down to the sides. Wonderful. We're going to interlace your hands behind your back, so interweave your fingers behind you and just gently press down towards the floor with your fists so you can open your chest up a bit. If you want to lift your hands away off of the floor, stretching them long back behind you, that's an option for you. It's still pretty early in the practice, so just maybe be easy on your chest and your shoulders here. Take a few big full breaths. Good, then keep your hands interlaced here. Just bring both of your fists up to the right. So your fists are going to kind of nestle into your right waist crease. And then hug your right elbow back behind you. Good. And then we're just going to gently drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Get a bit of extension in the left neck, your left shoulder. Take a few big full breaths here. Beginning to find some depth, some slowness, some steadiness in your breath. Gently bring your head back up to center. You can release your arms back behind you. Take an inhale breath. Press down with your fists. Reach up with your heart. And exhale will guide your fists. Still hands interlaced into your left hip crease. Again, hugging your left elbow back behind you. And gently drop your left ear to left shoulder. Good. Take a few big full breaths here. Maybe breathing some life, some space into your heart here. Good. One more breath. And head comes to center first. You can release your hands, uncross your fingers, take a big inhale, hands reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Big, beautiful breath. We'll go ahead and release your hands. You can come on to your knees now. And we're going to come to sit back on your heels. So you're on your knees here. So we're going to inhale, come up to stand on your knees, reach your hands up nice and high for the sky. And as you exhale, just reach around, grab just your left heel with your left hand. And if you need to tuck your toes to bring your heels closer to you, that's also fine. So left hand on your left heel, take a big inhale, reach your hips forward and reach your right arm back out long behind you. Good, take a big full breath in here. Good, and then we'll exhale, come back, sit down on your heels, both hands on your thighs. And then we'll inhale, opposite side, so right hand finds right heel. Let your left hand reach back up behind you as you press your hips forward, big full breath in. And exhale, sit back down on your heels. Good, first side flowing with your breath now. Inhale, press your hips forward, open up your chest. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, right side. And exhale back. One more, both sides. Last one. Good. Gently bring your hands to the floor out in front of you. We'll make our way to downward facing dog. So stretch your legs out long behind you and then reach your hips up and back towards the sky as you press into the floor really strong. Feel free to bend your knees here in the beginning if you need to. Take 2 big full breaths, getting some wiggles, some shakes out. Inhale, gaze forward towards your hands, and then as you exhale, gently step yourself forward into a forward fold. We'll inhale, lift up halfway, bring your hands onto your shins, look down at the floor, and exhale, fold in. Good, we'll bend your knees, come all the way up to stand, let your hands reach up nice and high for the sky, Tadasana mountain pose, and then as you exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Good, close your eyes, take 1 big full breath. We move with intention and strength and big open hearts through 1 sun salutation together. So let yourself inhale, reach your hands up for the sky. And exhale, let your heart lead as you bow forward, forward fold. You inhale, halfway lift, bring your hands onto your shins, nice flat back as you look down at the floor. And exhale, bring both hands to the floor, step back to a plank pose. Now feel free to lower your knees to help you here. You're going to bring your chest and your belly all the way to the floor. And we're going to do some cobra variations here. So just baby cobra at first, palms under your shoulders, elbows hugging back. And as you inhale, press against the floor, lift your chest up and forward. So you're reaching your heart forward towards the top of your mat. Big breath in. And exhale, come back down. Good, do one more just like that. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. Good. Now I want you to take your hands off of your mat to the sides, tent your fingertips so your finger pads are on the floor beside your mat. Your elbows will point up towards the sky, so you've got a 90-degree angle in your elbows here. And as you inhale, press into your finger pads, feel your heart really reach up towards the sky. Extended cobra here, big full breath in. And exhale, fold back down. One more, just like that. Inhale, press into your fingers, reach your heart forward. And exhale, fold it in. Gently release your palms back under your shoulders. Tuck your toes super strong in your low belly. Press yourself up and back to downward facing dog, please. Take 2 big full breaths. Good. One more. Good. Inhale, look forward towards your hands. And exhale, step to the top of your mat in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Bend your knees. Come all the way up to stand. Hands reach up for the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Close your eyes. Take one big breath. Good. And then you can release. We'll take a little bit of a different flow, not quite vinyasa style. We're just going to focus on really opening your chest here. So I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me, but feel free to stay facing the top of your mat, whatever works for you. So you're going to inhale, reach your hands up nice and high for the sky. And then you're just going to take a side bend. So let both your hands reach to the right as you shift your hips to the left. You're making a nice crescent moon shape with your body here. So take a big full breath in and out. Good. You can inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, second side. Reach your fingers to the left and hips to the right. Good. Inhale, center, first side, one more time. Inhale up and exhale over. Good. Inhale up and release. Good. So focusing more on your shoulders and your chest now. Just go ahead and take a big inhale. Reach your hands out like a big T. And then you're going to reach around and give yourself a big hug. Whatever arm wants to come on top first. Just go ahead and spread across the backs of your shoulders and gently bow your chin in towards your arms here. Take 2 big breaths. And staying nice and even with your breath. Allow an inhale to open you back up. Big T shape with your arms. And exhale, come forward, give yourself another big hug, but switch sides. So whatever arm you had on top last time, just be sure to switch. Good, big full breath. Breathing into the back of your heart, one more. Good, gently, big, open up and release. Good. So now you're going to take your right hand and you're going to reach it out in front of you. You're going to draw a big circle until eventually your hand comes back behind you. You're going to bend your right elbow so that your fingertips can reach up in between your shoulder blades here. So my elbow will be pointing down and my fingertips will be pointing up in between your shoulders. And don't feel bad if your hands can't get all the way there. It's totally fine. It just takes some time. And then you'll inhale, take your left arm, draw a big circle, follow your hand with your gaze. You're going to reach your right arm back behind you, bend at your elbow, and reach to grab your right elbow with your left hand. So you're going to gently pull your right elbow towards the center to help you find a deeper stretch across the front of your right shoulder blade here. And then this is our pose, so we're going to hang out here and just breathe for a few moments. Seeing if you can create space and release some tension around that right shoulder area here. Good, maybe close your eyes, just take 2 more breaths. Good, and then to gently release, you'll start with your left hand. So draw that big circle again, turn around, follow your hand with your gaze. So your left hand comes all the way up towards the sky. You're eventually going to place your left hand on your right hip bone. And then you're going to do the same thing with your right hand. So slowly, slowly release. You're going to draw a big circle, follow your fingertips with your gaze, and eventually your right hand will find your left hip here. Just give yourself a few breaths, gently rock back and forth, feel that expansion across the backs of your shoulders. Good, one more. Nice, juicy heart opening. We're going to do the same thing with the second side. So release your left hand from your hip. You're going to draw that big circle, right? Follow your hands with your fingers, eventually bending at your elbow. Reach your left fingertips up in between your shoulder blades this time. Maybe find that one side is way easier than the other one. And then you're going to take your right hand, right? Draw that big full circle, reach up and around and back until eventually you can find your left elbow with your right hand. Now I'm kind of spinning and twirling everywhere just so you can see me, but ideally you'll do this all from standing at the top of your mat with your big arm circles and everything. I just want to make sure you understand what's going on. So from here, breathe into your left shoulder. Soften your eyes. Soften your heart. Take one more breath. Good, then to release, we start with the left hand, or the right hand, excuse me. So release your elbow, draw that big circle, reach up and around. Right hand finds left hip, and then left hand releases. Draw that big full circle, left hand finds right hip. And just gently rock back and forth here. Good, so we're going to do both sides one more time, a bit of a different variation. If you want to use a yoga strap or a belt from between your hands, that's an option. You can also just grab onto your shirt, so I'll explain a bit more when we get there. So you're going to use your right hand again first, unwind, reach your right hand up nice and tall, draw around and back to make that big circle. Bend at your elbow, reaching your right fingertips up between your shoulders, and then the left hand releases. Draw that big full circle. Stop when your left hand is reaching straight up towards the sky. From here, you're going to bend at your elbow and draw your left fingertips back towards your right, so maybe you can hook your fingertips. And if you can't hook your fingertips, that's totally fine. It took me quite a while to be able to do it. So this is where if you have a belt or a strap of some kind, you can hold on to the two ends of the strap rather than having to strain to reach your fingertips. So just find whatever position works best for you. Wherever you are, just think about reaching your two elbows away from each other. So this should be pretty sensational across maybe your left tricep and into the right shoulder, down the right bicep. See if you can breathe some softness here. Take 2 more breaths. Good, and then we'll gently release. Start with the right hand. Release your clasp. Draw that big full circle. Ooh, feel your shoulder blade release. Bring your right palm onto your left hip. And then you can just extend your left arm up and bring it around to your right hip. Take a few breaths. I'm a big fan of just swaying side to side. Feels really nice on my hips. And really calming for the nervous system, I think. I feel like it is. I don't know if there's any science behind that. Probably somewhere. Good, we're going to do your second side now. So your left arm is going to draw the big circle, reaching back behind you, bend at your elbow to reach your left fingertips up the small of your back, and then right hand reaches up. Stop when your right hand is reaching straight up towards the sky, and then bend at your elbows to reach around. Maybe find the clasp of your hands. Maybe find a strap, a belt, or just your bra strap can work too. Good. So elbows reaching away from each other. Bring a softness into your face. Take 2 full breaths here. Seeing if you can clear out some space energetically in your heart as well. Good, so we'll gently release the grip. Start with your left hand. Draw the big full circle, left palm to right hip, and then right hand reaches up, releases down to your left hip. Good. Just close your eyes, 3 big breaths here. Maybe try swaying side to side. Good, nice and easy. Coming back to stand at the top of your mat, if you weren't there already. Go ahead and take a big breath in. Both hands reach up for the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Halfway lift, big full breath in. Exhale, both hands onto the floor. Step back, plank pose. Exhale, lowering yourself all the way to the floor. We'll inhale, just 1 baby cobra this time. Heart reaches forward, elbows towards your ribs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. And now from here, we're going to set up for pyramid pose. So you're going to lift your right leg up high in the sky behind you for 3-limb dog. And when you step forward, give yourself a really short stance. So that right foot will probably only come up about halfway up your yoga mat. Widen your feet away from each other so you have some balance, and then stand all the way up. So I have a much shorter stance than if I were in, say, Warrior 2. So all of your toes face forward. Bring your hands onto your hips. If you want to work with more shoulder opening, you can reach around to hug opposite elbows. Maybe finding reverse prayer, if that's an option for you in your hands. Wherever you are, just take an inhale, reach your heart up towards the sky. And exhale, fold forward, reach your heart towards your knee. And then as you go, just gently tuck your right hip back as you softly bend into that right knee. Make sure that both legs are nice and straight. Release into the back of your neck when you feel ready to. Take 3 big breaths here. Good. Then we'll slowly rise up, press down into your feet, come all the way up, and let a breath out. So now we'll just switch the direction of our feet. So all you have to do is just step and switch. So draw your left foot out in front of you. Your right foot is in the back now. Take an inhale to lift your heart up towards the sky. And exhale, slowly begin to fold forward over that front knee. Again, bending slightly into the left knee, just so you don't hyperextend, but for the most part, your leg's pretty straight. And then release into the back of your neck when you're ready. Good. 2 big breaths. Good. Press down into your feet to slowly lift yourself all the way back up. And you can release your hands and just step your feet together. Shake it out. Good. And then all you have to do is just bring yourself back onto your hands and your knees so you can find a child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. If you would like to vinyasa your way down there, feel free. But we're going to slide into the more restorative aspect of our practice now. So feel free to just bring yourself down if you'd like. Go ahead and nestle your torso in between your thighs. Relax your forehead onto the mat. Take a few big full breaths here. Good. Coming into a thread the needle variation on your arms here in our child's pose. So just gently lift up through your chest, look towards your fingertips. You're going to take your right hand and thread it underneath your left bicep to place the back of your right shoulder and your right cheek onto the mat. Open your right palm up towards the sky and then just let your body grow heavy and soft here. Gently close your eyes. Breathing into the back of your heart now. May I know love. May I be loved. May I be loving in return. Take 2 more breaths. And you can softly unwind. Bring your right palm back up to the top of your mat with your left. Take a big full breath in here. And then when you're ready, draw your left hand underneath your right, releasing down to this thread the needle variation of child's pose on the second side. Letting your hips be heavy. As we just begin to settle into the breath. May the wisdom of our hearts guide us in everything we do. And you can gently unwind. Bring both arms out in front of you for Balasana, child's pose. Just take a big full breath. And then gently walk yourself back up to a seat. Sit back on your heels so that we can transition onto our backs. Just go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you and lower yourself all the way down to the floor, bringing your knees in towards your chest. Good. Just allow yourself maybe a breath or two to just sway side to side on your low back here. We're going to find happy baby pose. So reaching the soles of your feet up towards the sky. You can just take your hands, maybe grab your ankles, your shins, your big toes, whatever is accessible to you. Flex your feet in towards your face and let your hips sink down to the floor so that your sacrum is still on the mat. We're opening up into your inner hips here, the groin area. Just soften anywhere you can. I know this can be a pretty intense pose, but just close your eyes and invite your breath to help you find a bit of softness. Gonna take 3 more big full breaths here. Letting your inhales invite space, clarity, and fresh new life. And let your exhales release and let go of anything tense, stagnant, dense, heavy. Just breathing through everything that comes up here. And gently let your ankles, your knees come back together and slowly lower your feet back onto the floor, knees to the sky. You can let your arms rest beside you in maybe a cactus or a goalpost shape. Just scooch your hips to the left edge of your mat, just so you have space to let both of your knees fall to the right. Oof. In a final supine twist here. So knees fall to the right. If you'd like to take your gaze to the left, to take this twist into the cervical spine as well, it's a good option. And just begin to settle into your breath. Inviting yourself to relax. And just be soft in your breath. Good. Slowly come back up to center with your gaze and with your knees. Scoot your hips to the right edge of your mat, letting both knees fall to the left. And taking your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees if you're choosing to do so. Notice if your mind is beginning to sort of wander off into thought. Maybe planning, remembering, reminiscing. Whatever it is, just notice. There's no good or bad, no right or wrong. So the practice is being able to bring your attention, bring your mind back to your breath and your body in this moment right here and right now. Going to take an inhale, slowly lift back up. Exhale when you're ready. Extend both your legs out long into Shavasana, releasing your hands in whatever position feels most comfortable. You can also stay right here at goalpost if you'd like. If you'd like, you can place maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Sending some intentional, loving compassion into your heart. May I know love. May I be loved. May I be loving in return. May the wisdom of our hearts guide us in everything we do. Gently beginning to deepen your breath here. Maybe taking a big, full, long stretch up overhead, if that sounds nice. Taking your time to gently reawaken into your body. And if you feel like you need to stay here for a longer amount of time, feel free to stay as long as you need to. If you'd like to end your practice with me, gently roll yourself over through one side so you can come up back into your comfortable seated posture. And keep your eyes closed. End with palms on the heart, pressing one palm on top of the other, just cradling your heart here for a moment. Honoring the passion of the heart. Maybe setting an intention to live in a heart-centered way, both on the mat and off the mat. I thank you all for your practice. Thank you for joining me here today. Namaste.